Alrighty, Juanitos, welcome back to Boom Jewelry Designs. I am so excited today. I am doing a jewelry piece for a friend. I believe they're in Georgia. They're an artist, and this is their page. It is Ahaya Artist Latasha Edmond, I believe out of Georgia, and she does grills, the funkiest, coolest grills with different colors and ideas and designs, and amazing. I mean, this is a magical queen, doing it big, just like I am over here, guys, in Western Colorado. So Latasha, this is for you at Ahaya Artist on Instagram. Yeah, so we're gonna do a freedom bird for her, a freedom bird ring. She wants a turquoise stone. This turquoise is from my buddy Justin G. Russell, Navajo silversmith and artist here in Western Colorado, where I live. And I have a spoon here that I got from Chuck. I buy some of these old silverware from him at his shop, and I just cut it with my bolt cutters, and we're going to use this piece of the ring, or of the spoon, for the ring. And I poured my own silver, made it into square wire, and then eventually kind of formed it into this round wire. And it's hand rolled, hand pulled. I'm not the best at doing that part of it, but this is going to work, and it's going to be fabulous, guys. And of course, we have the Apache Freedom Bird right here. And I'm going to cut this out. This is going to take some intricate saw work, but we're going to go ahead and cut this out. This is also rolled from another piece of spoon. That was this part of the spoon. And I'll show you guys how I do that. So welcome to Boom Jewelry Designs Jewelry Adventures, guys. We're going to make this happen rapping. I'm going to put this piece of turquoise right here in the heart of this freedom bird. This turquoise, by the way, is Sleeping Beauty turquoise. Very clean, doesn't have matrix in it, and it's very well polished, and it's going to fit right in there. And that is going to be a bossy ring. We're going to make a bossy ring for a bossy artist. And saucy and bossy, keeping it saucy, baby. That's all we know out here in these mean streets. Western Colorado, out there in jewelry land, guys. My jewelry is in Cowboys and Indians magazine, the world's premier Western style and jewelry magazine in the world. We're on the website over there, and we are in the magazine. Maybe I'll send you a screenshot of something in there. But man, I am so proud of all the work that Millie and I have done to make my jewelry dreams come true. She is such a supportive person in my life, and I'm so happy to have her be such a huge part, motivating factor, support. And I hope you guys are also have supporting people in your lives that are making your dreams come true, and you also making their dreams come true. She just came out with the book. There's a link in the description if you're into self-reflection, poetry, and photography. She does it all. And she put it all together in a book for reflection and self-growth and all that kind of stuff. So it's a beautiful piece of artwork that I supported her in doing, and she does this. We got to work for each other, friends. Thank you for all the people out there that are buying me coffees as support for the channel. It's really motivating when people are saying, hey bro, here's I support you, I see you, you're out there making your dreams come true, and you're adding value to the jewelry world. And that is really what it's all about, guys. Keep leaning toward moving forward, friends. So without further ado, let's continue on with this jewelry adventure. We're going to go ahead and just take it one step at a time. I'm going to walk you guys through the process. You guys probably know how to do all this stuff already, but really it's fun, and it's hopefully a little bit entertaining and educational to see the process in action. So we're at this place here. Thanks for joining, and let's get started. Okay, friends, so the first step we're going to take in this process is going to be to flatten this bad boy out. I'm going to put this on this block, and we're just going to hit it. Ow! Johnny! Ow! All right, first step, we're going to hit this and not smash our fingers. I do this all the time, and I haven't... Sorry, Tito. Smashed the crap out of my finger like an idiot. We just get this just flat enough so we can fit it in our roller. All right, friends, we're here at my Vivor rolling mill that I got for, I believe it was about $250. I open it just big enough that I can fit it through. I fit it through, and then I'm just very gentle with it, and I just kind of push it through. Getting pretty close there. That's still pretty thick. A little bit thinner. Just make sure we have a uniform thickness through the whole piece. I think that's about good, guys. I'm gonna anneal this just to kind of get the molecules to relax a little bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started making the ring. All right, we're gonna go a slight annealing, or like just kind of feather that. Sometimes I use my Genius wire just so that the block doesn't sink. In the comments, friends, when you're annealing, at what level is it that you can still anneal, but it's not going to create fire stain, which means the copper content of the sterling is rising to the surface, creating that staining look. I've heard a redness for 120 seconds, but that seems like a lot. So I'm going to just get it warm enough so that it will relax, so I can get this to be not warped like that, flat, and I will hammer that. So I'm going to let that cool on my steel block, and then we'll get ready to start thinking about the borders. All right, right here, friends, you know we got to boom this. Some of you guys know about my boom logo, and the O originally was not sideways, but I accidentally made an error and made that first O sideways. And I was like, you know, I actually kind of like the way that looks. I decided to keep it as part of my logo, and it became part of my branding. So it was just a happy accident that turned out to be kind of stand-outy, and something that I really kind of learned to really enjoy about jewelry all around, is the fact that, you know, mistakes turn out to be blessings quite often, and a lot of it has to do with your attitude about it. You know, you can be like, oh, I stink, or you could be like, you know what, I accidentally was genius. Accidental genius. You know, you love the accidental genius, friends. Okay, so we got the boom. We're gonna flip that over. Okay, here where we put the stamp, guys, often on the back side of it is gonna be a little goofy. So what I like to do is just kind of hit it flat, and then just use some sandpaper and just kind of see what you can do to kind of level that out a little bit. And if you're looking at this with me, guys, you guys are seeing that we're getting pretty close. We're getting pretty good. See, I can kind of almost live with that. 4.5 is actually, the length of it is 47.8. If it's 12 gauge, it's going to be 54. We're going to go ahead and go 54 millimeters. More material than not enough, homies. And then I'll just kind of echo the sentiment. Is that a big word? Right next to it, and then give the other. So one technique that I kind of been doing lately is I'll just bend them together. And then I had this other idea. I'm not sure if it's a smart idea or not, because I don't want the back of the ring to be too fat. The skinnier the back of the ring, the easier it is for you to have dexterity. Because if your rings are too fat back here, like this one, I mean, I have kind of big hands, and that's fine, but it is, if it was a little recessed in there, that would make it a little bit more comfortable. But I'm a fashion over function guy myself. I wouldn't go like this. And typically, guys, what I probably should have done is put the boom up here, and I should have went like this. And just use, this is 2 rings right here. And I wasn't thinking ahead. For the purposes of this video, we're going to go like this. Another idea I had was towards the bottom here, give it a little out, and then a little out. So let's cut this out, and then we'll just continue working with this. All right, Juanitos, we're using number 3/0 blades, which is kind of a smaller blade for smaller stuff, and I use a number 3 blade for castellated bezels and for my thicker silver. All right, friends, there we go. That's how that's gonna look, guys. That's gonna be epic. Okay, friends, at this point, this is the time that we do the tinning of the back of the bird. So we're gonna have this bird facing left on this one. I'm left-handed, and there's a little symbolism there for personal meaning. You want the head, the body, and the wings. These little pieces right here, any part that might, in the bending process, that might buckle up, you set yourself up for victory. See, use my solder pick to kind of move it around like cake frosting per my instructions from Melanie Klein, master silversmith, wonderful lady, and really gave me the fundamentals and the foundation for all of my jewelry dreams, guys. Find a mentor who can tolerate you. Anytime I need anything, I can always reach out to her. I don't bother her too much because she's a busy individual, but I think she's proud of my efforts and my progression in the jewelry world. Just like that. Okay, I'm feeling pretty dandy about that. Now, I did sand the back of that bird so that it was all sterling exposed. Genius wire, so I can get a little bit the flame underneath it. Put it right over the boom logo that's on the other side. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this fire scoff, guys, and per instructions of the fire scoff manufacturer, get the silver hot first, at least to 350 degrees. Be hot pretty good. You want this fire scoff to really give it a good coating, and the fire scoff is designed to eliminate the chances of fire scale, guys. That might be a little hot because it's just kind of bubbling off of it, and I'm still not very good at this, guys. Now that that's dry, now I'm going to place my solder on the outside. First, I'm going to kind of adjust this. Now, this is the first time I've ever done this where I did little angles at the end, but I believe they're going to come together nicely. Now, the bad part about doing this, friends, is this style, because I could tin the underbelly of these wires, but it's round wire, so that could be a challenge. But the downside of this is that the solder is going to flood out this way, and it's going to make these scraps a little messy. So at this point, friends, I'll show you what I do. This is how I do it. I'm not the brightest in the world, but we go for it. I am going to drop a little bit of, to make sure I get that under the bird, because when I sprayed the fire scale or the fire scoff, which is also acts as a flux, it didn't get behind the bird. I'm really trying to work around the perimeter, and I'm looking where the wire is touching, and I'm going to focus there first. And I have a nice little spot right here. Go a little underneath. Moving through this pretty quick, guys. I know you guys have to get back to your lives. Okay, keep going. Push it. Into the press down. Press down. We got that. Keep it groovy like a drive-in movie. Let's go right here. Press. come off this way. Let's see what we got over here. Where it's touching, we'll take what it gives us, guys. Right here. Okay, that is not. Okay, there we go. Okay, now I'm looking and I see where there's a little bit of focusing on the outside, not on the bird yet. Okay, I think I got that. Now I'm going to go to the bird. I'm going to focus on the bird. I'm going to focus on this end of the bird. Press, take the heat off. Actually on this foot. Press, take the heat off. Action on this tip of the wing. Looks good already. Press, take the heat off. I'm gonna look at, just give it an overall kind of, take the heat off. Okay, boom, take the heat off. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna clean this, put it in the pickle, and then we'll really examine it when I get right back. Sorry that took so long. All right, you jewelry enthusiasts out there, this is what it is, guys. There's solder on the outside of this, but not on the inside, which is good. And at this point, this back plate, guys, I didn't mention how thick I thought it might be, but I'm guessing it's about 22 gauge. I saw the outside of this ring shank out with this, and bring you guys back, and we'll take a gander. Okay, friends, I think we're getting pretty close. Sawed off the edges, and that's not perfect, and I knew it wasn't going to be, but I always try to get it right. And are we close to 54 millimeters? We are over 54 millimeters. So I think what I'm going to do is bend this, because I want to have more material than not enough. I got about 60. I'm going to shore up these edges nice and flat, just get any big scratches out. Because once it's bent, we're not gonna have the access. So we're thinking ahead to the polishing stage, friends. And we really want to put ourselves in the best position to be successful. So, in this process, sometimes this happens. You realize that part of the bird is not down, so we're going to go ahead and just slide a little piece of solder chip in there, heat it, and then pinch it with the tongs at the opportune moment. All right, I have it set up with the need for the chip right there. I did warm it up, and I sprayed my fire scoff on there, and now I'm going to put just a little dab of flux underneath that little area. Got my tweezers here, got my flame to about like that. I really do not want fire scale, friends. Just a little tiny piece of solder. Okay, to look right here. And if I can, I have a little tiny another little minuscule piece I'd like to put right in there. While you're here, guys, this is where you want to do this. I'm going to work on it where you got its attention. Leverage. Boom. Okay, we got it, guys. I'm going to put this in the pickle, and then we will continue our process. Okay, we're back. We have everything down where we want it, I believe. And we're going to continue to bend this bad boy for you guys to watch. Usually I do this on my lap, but it's kind of the same, basically the same thing. Okay, at this point we'll go like this. Gorilla finger it. Okay, now we're getting to the point, guys, where I may be able to just kind of So we're about right here. I'm going to look at the size that we have here. It's not perfectly circle. So we're about 4 3/4, but see, I still got a lot of material that I can take off. So that's good, because if you look at it, this right here, this needs to be flush. So I need to take at least 2 millimeters off of this side, maybe 1 millimeter off of this, maybe just 2 millimeters off of this side for it to have its balance. We're just gonna saw this off, guys. Okay guys, now we're about fine-tuning, and I'm trying to get this as close as I can to eyeball correct. Okay guys, I think I can live with that. Yeah, I can live with that. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna go ahead and put solder on the inside, heat it from the bottom, and then pull that solder through. And you'll see my technique on how, when I have a lot of torque on this, or there's a lot of pressure, a lot of tension on that ring, sometimes when it gets hot, it wants to open up. And I'm gonna show you a technique that I use to make sure that that doesn't happen. Okay, amigos, hopefully you guys can see in there just a little bit. I'm going to put some flux, and I'm going to cook that flux out, just so that it doesn't bubble and boil when I'm putting my solder in there. Medium solder, friends. In fact, I did this whole ring with medium solder. And we're just gonna... So my technique, friends, is, and if you guys are familiar with some of my recent videos, I recently discovered this technique. I use my tongs that I use for picking up my crucible bowl, and I just have them ready in case I need a little squeeze. See the solder start to respond. A little squeeze, pull away. I think I did pretty good there. All the solder ran into the seam. I'm gonna put, there's some mass there, and I want to make sure that solder is really filling that seam generously, because it's kind of a thick area. Just get it going again. A little squeeze down here, boom. And that's what it looks like on the back side. So the solder, you don't have a huge solder mess, but you can see that seam is all the way through. So I'm gonna pickle this, and then we'll start the cleaning process, and then we'll start getting ready for that bezel. Okay, Juanita Roseville, here we are. I have this little piece of bezel that is pretty skinny, but it's still too tall for this. But I want to show you how I do my small bezels. I use this tool right here. I got this at Hobby Lobby, guys. About $12. And I'm looking at that stone, and I'm thinking that if I just wrap this around this, it makes a complete circle. I think we're pretty close there, friends. So what I'm going to do is make a little mark, and then give it one of these numbers on the line. Put that there for later. It's always nice to have some small pieces of bezel wire for little tiny stones just sitting around waiting for you. Okay guys, I think that right there, I think I could work with that. Now I want this to be high enough where I'm not going to worry about this falling out of the stone falling out of the bezel. But the key, friends, is to have a nice balance between security but not covering the stone too much. Then I'm going to put a little dot of solder, of hard solder, to close this. All right, I'm not going to leave you out. We got this right here. I got this kind of set right on my third hand, and I have a nice connection there. I'm going to use a small piece of solder. If you guys know me, you guys know I like to put my solder on the outside of the bezel so I have access for easy cleanup. cook this flux off so it doesn't bubble and make my solder start breakdancing. Okay, trying to heat both sides of the bezel at the same time so that solder does not favor one side of the joint to the other. Okay, got a nice connection there. I will get my sandpaper and I'll bring my little this little guy I used just to kind of make sure that it's round. It has a tapered end. This is my punch that I use for rivets, but this has a tapered end so I can make sure I get it nice and round on both sides. Rolly on the sandpaper there. This is 320 grit. 320 grit. I'm just going to keep getting this until we feel like we're about the... Now I can file this. I could rub this on my file. And it will take a lot of material off pretty quickly, but I like to work slow because I don't want to accidentally overdo it and then realize that I have to make another bezel. Now this bezel wire, looking at it guys, I'm guessing this is 28 gauge bezel wire. I do use 30 gauge, which is the thinner bezel wire from time to time. But I really like this 28. It's just thick. It's thick enough where it's nice and sturdy for a forever piece, but it's also thin enough where you can it's still malleable. And you're gonna get a good secure connection. Half round file orientation. This is more like it, I believe. Okay, we're looking at it, and I'm feeling pretty okay about that. Orientation correct, a little bit of a to it, and that looks pretty dang good, guys. I'm about 0.5 millimeter. The cool thing about this, guys, is this is your chance to really just focus your eyeballs and get exactly what you want, because if you slick yourself out of this opportunity to make this just right, you're gonna be sad. You're gonna have to redo it, and you're gonna have to take the bezel off, and it's just gonna ruin your day, you know. So how about good days not ruined by just taking a little extra effort in the front side of things. Now that moved. Am I gonna let that ruin my day? No, I'm not. Just gonna get it hot. I'm gonna kind of just readjust because this is the time to do it. Now, you know, sometimes that flux will give it a little bit of a little bit of a bond. I discuss it in other videos. Sometimes that works to your favor. Often it does, actually, because you want your piece not to be moving around. You want for it to stay. Now what I want to do, guys, is I want to get my medium solder, because I used hard solder on the bezel cup. I'm putting one north and one south. I want them touching the bezel cup. I'm gonna turn my heat up a little bit, and we're gonna go for it. Now I have my tweezers here in case I need to move it, but I don't think I will. But what I want is for that solder to respond, and I will give it a slight press. There we go. Boom. You may have saw that. Ooh, I can see the meniscus all the way around, and that's a great. Sometimes things work out like that, and it's just makes you look good. And sometimes they don't, and it makes you look bad. Let's clean this up and get this ready for further investigation. All right, friends, now we're just gonna clean up the edges. Let's just a quick look at that. I hope that's focused for you guys. I left the bottom plate a little longer than the round, so I'm just gonna work to get them flush before I start rounding the inside of the ring for comfort. doing this for a long time until it's just right. Alrighty, Juanita Roseville, here we are, guys. This is the ring. I sanded it pretty good, and I got some silicone wheel on it just to kind of smooth it out a little bit. But I think I'm pretty happy with that. That's about 4.5, size 4.5. This stone is going to be in the middle piece, but I'm going to do a little bit more. I'm going to have to polish it first and probably do some liver of sulfur. I'll save you guys that part of the video. You guys have seen me do that before, but guys, that's pretty much it. I don't want to make this video too long. It's already crazy long, but you know how it is out here, man. I don't want to leave you guys hanging or guessing what I'm doing. I try to show all the process. Thank you so much for hanging out, friends. Stick around to the very, very end. We're going to do the music video debut of this piece. And this is for my friend in Georgia, and I hope she loves it, and it gives her lots of power and strength and freedom, because this is Apache freedom symbolization right there with the heart of turquoise. Oh, it's going to be gorgeous, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. As always, hit like on your way out. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel. I try not to do too much of the same stuff over again. I like to do fresh, new adventures, and sometimes it takes me a while to think about what I'm gonna do. And plus, it's summertime here in Western Colorado, and I love being out in the mountains and hiking and being with family and just doing some other things, and not always just being in here, even though I have to pull myself out of this place sometimes. I love this so much, but I have to live another part of my life too, friends, and you guys do as well. So make sure you have good balance. You guys are taking care of yourselves, drinking plenty of water, not using poisonous sunscreen, sun gazing at sunrise and sunset, and getting as much positive energy as you possibly can, friends. You know what it is. I'm Benny. I'm out. Peace.